All right.
Give
Meeting will now please come to order. Please turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate. First, we'll have call to order. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Jerry Gisclair, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have Mr. Secretary, would you please give roll call?
Yes, sir. Seat A, Chucky Sheremy.
Here.
Seat B, Rodney R. Gisclair.
Here.
Seat C, Jimmy Lafourche, he's away on business. Seat D, Rodney J. Gisclair.
Here.
Seat E, Curtis Pierce.
Here.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Melisson.
Here.
Seat H, Mike Calais here. Seat I, Chris Calais.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Calais. Next, we have approved minutes for January 8, 2020, regular meeting, and January 29, 2020, special meeting. Need a motion. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Larry Griffin, second by Mr. John Melisson. Any discussion? Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have Executive Director's Report. Mr. Shasso.
Thank you, Mr. President. First is our Northern Expansion projects. Northern Expansion, Slip C, 400 feet east, Part 2, bulkhead, PCO and Associates. Joe PCO.
Yes, sea level construction's the contractor. They're working on driving concrete piles for the dead men right now. They got about 2 dead men done. They got a couple more to go. They're also welding and hanging the boat bumper on the outside. They've been having a lot of trouble. They're delayed. They're probably going to be late about a month or so. We'll see next month. We'll know more about how much they're going to be late. But they are working weekends and trying to catch up as much as they can right now.
Any questions on that project for Joe? All right. Northern Expansion, Slip C, 1,100 foot east, bulkhead.
Yes, Shaver's Widow is the contractor on this project. They started to move on site. They're in the pre-construction period. They're buying steel, painting steel, and they're moving a crane on site this week. They're going to start driving the test piles later this week or early next week.
Okay. Any questions there?
Thank you,
Joe. And just to remind the board, we're not going to go and dredge the 400 feet. We're going to wait till the 1,100 foot is complete, and then we'll go and dredge all 1,500 feet. It wouldn't cost for mob and demob, wouldn't make sense to do that. So we'll just wait. We're not in a rush for the property at this moment. So that's how we're going to handle that. Okay, moving on to the coastal wetlands part. Thad, Davey?
Coastal Wetland Park, we actually still have a contractor bringing in material, filling that site A for a future parking lot, and we're doing salt borings for where that bridge will be over the Tidal Creek going into the flotation canal. So site is coming along. We're doing some improvements continuously.
Yep. All right. Thad, you want to update us on the grant deadline?
Yeah, so like I previously discussed, our second submittal is due April the 1st. We continue to move forward. We're getting all the documentation, everything that we need done for that April 1 deadline. We don't see any problems for us not to meet that.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Thad and Davey. All right, moving on to airport projects. Joe Wheeler, Airport Director.
All right, for the operations of January 2020, we did have 1,894 aircraft operations, 9,398 passengers emplaned, and then 17,146 vehicles on airport road. For the drainage project, y'all do have the substantial completion certificate later on in the agenda for approval. And then for the Airport Connector Road and Bridge, I will defer to Joe Picciola.
All right.
Joe, I have a question. How do our numbers compare to last January? Or
to be honest with you, I haven't looked at it yet. So okay. At least get this month down in the books, and then I'm going to start pulling all that information together.
All right.
But we're right about average.
Okay.
From last year.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, Airport Connector Road and Bridge, Joe Piccioli.
So right now, the project is out for public notice with the state for permitting. We've submitted permits to the Coast Guard and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers also. We have a wetland delineation that's been submitted to them for approval also. We're working on our 60% plans. Yesterday, Chet and I, and also Parish President Archie Chasson, met with the state, their traffic division, about the intersections at LA1 and 3235 pretty much. But basically what they told us is that they would be willing to entertain a waiver, but it has to be backed up by information in the traffic study. So we're meeting tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. with the traffic engineers to discuss what the possibilities are. I really think that we're probably going to have to make some compromises unless we want a long, drawn-out fight. And that's just the fact. So we're going to try to see what they can do tomorrow and then come back to you with some recommendations as to which way we think we should go.
Yep.
And that would be for the traffic light on the LA1
It's
section?
the intersection design, so it'd be the turning lanes, the acceleration lanes, and the traffic light.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have a meeting later today with the right-of-way folks. And then, like Joe said, we're going to be meeting with the traffic study group tomorrow to move that along. And then appraisals are being done. So things are moving along on the project, and we should be able to make some decisions on what's the next steps coming in the following month or two.
So
Okay.
this afternoon at 2, we're meeting with the utilities, the water district, the gas company, and the phone ETEL to discuss them relocating their utilities. And DOTD is also going to be here.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, moving on to other projects. The Section 203 feasibility study, GIS engineering. John.
Okay, about 3 weeks ago, we traveled to Washington, D.C. to give the ASA the latest version of the report. We have not heard anything back from them as of yesterday, but
Right.
Chet might have some additional
No,
information.
we have not heard back on their initial review of the addendum to the report. That's really the final version, all the new updated information with answering the questions that they had and some things they wanted to see. That's all done. Again, we hadn't heard back on their review of that, but we anticipate not much in that front, and then recommend them going to the ASA's office, recommending for approval of the report, and then moving on to the WRDA process. Water Resource Development Act bill that's coming out this year. Okay? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And then flotation canal embankment work, Davey.
The flotation canal embankment work is a small project that was washed out from a storm, and we're in the process of getting the contract out there to install riprap and fill behind. That project's about $25,000, and Tidewater Docks is the contractor that was low on that quote.
All right. Any questions on that? Okay, thank you, Davey. All right, we have an update now from Restore Retreat, Ms. Simone Malaws. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. Good morning. So this is the time of year where we work on comments for the state's annual plan. The state has their larger master plan, but every year they come out with their annual plan on how they're going to spend the funds that they have for this year and then the next 2 years. So this year the plan is about $750 million in coastal work and protection across the state, but in the next 2 years it actually ramps up to over $1 billion. So we prepare comments, I said 700 million, it's 900 million, and then we increase over $1 billion. The majority of that, over 75%, is spent on construction, and so that is exciting for us to kind of move into that phase of coastal work where we're really doing majority construction while we're still doing planning and engineering. And there's also a couple of major projects planned for this area. So what we do is we kind of go through the plan, we highlight which projects are from the area of interest, and then we share that with share it with Chet, Henri, the chambers, SCIA, the business and industry groups, so that if they are interested in a particular project, they can comment on that. So overall, that's really exciting that we're about to get over $1 billion worth of work a year on coastal restoration and protection projects. I think we had an update yesterday. Chet and I serve on the Governor's Advisory Commission. 28 projects will go to bid this year alone, and some range from mega projects to little projects in the area. And so, again, it's exciting to kind of see us turn that corner. We are still continuing to work on Go Mesa, which is our share of offshore royalty revenues. We did, in the president's budget, that is secure. In the past, they've tried to take that away from us, but our money there is good. And we also found out that we hit the cap. There is a cap to how much money we can receive in those revenue sharings, and we did hit that cap. We've been doing some work in Washington, D.C. to see about changing that cap or that allocation of how that money comes. And in Louisiana, we have a really good case because that money is protected in a trust fund, in a lockbox there. And so we're continuing to do good work there, not with what we already have, but what we could have in the future. And then we're looking, the Louisiana legislature is obviously coming up. We spend a couple of days there. There's a coastal day on April 15th, and then there will be a new Bayou Region Day on May 21st. And so that's our time to go visit the legislature. I know the ports and different groups have days where they go up there. And so finally, there'll be a day for the Bayou region to go up. And then lastly, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary along with you guys. Y'all are a little bit older than we are. So we celebrate in May as well. And so we've actually been talking to Chet and a few others about if we can do something together. I know y'all have some big things planned too, and so since y'all were here at the beginning with us, we'd like to do some things together to celebrate our 20th anniversary. So that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all may have too.
Any questions?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mo. All right. Now we'll move on to public comments. I wanted to mention Henri's not here today. He's out and about working on Industry Match. He's been hard at work with that since for a long time, but especially since our meetings in Washington, D.C. A few Fridays ago, where we had the meeting between the governor, Secretary of DOTD Sean Wilson, Congressman Steve Scalise, who convened the meeting in his office, along with myself and Henri and folks from U.S. Department of Transportation and Federal Highways Administration to talk about the LA1 project and the state's DOTD's application for the LA1 project to complete that section of the elevated highway. The infra grant, the federal grant, the DOTD will be submitting that application supposed to be on February 21st. The deadline is February 25th, but we're going to get it in early. There's numerous, I think there's about 20 letters of support that are going along with the package from numerous entities, including ourselves, obviously. So we're very excited about that opportunity and think this is our time, because basically all of the matching funds just about are there and ready to go, including our contribution and the commitment that the board has made, the Port Commission has made to the project. So that's moving along, and I just wanted to make mention of that. The other thing I wanted to mention is the intersection that is just about complete, the expansion of the intersection of that 90-degree turn in Leeville. I think they painted the line markings on the road. It's not fully open yet because I think there's still some work that needs to be done in terms of putting light poles up. So that's coming. They're running a little bit late on getting that light and the electrical work done, but that's coming and should be fully opened in the coming weeks. Any questions for me on that? All right. The next thing is I'm excited that Mr. Jerry Truck Gisclair is here. We certainly have enjoyed the relationship that we've had with former Representative Truck Gisclair of District 54. We do have a plaque for him, and that reads, Representative Jerry Truck Gisclair, in appreciation for your years of dedicated service and leadership on behalf of Port Fourchon and the South Lafourche Leonard Miller Jr. Airport. We want to thank you for all your hard work in the last 12 years and really appreciate your dedication to us and working with us to get some really good things done over the years. And not just the Port Commission, but your entire district. So thank you.
I really appreciate this gesture, and thanks for allowing me to be here. And the work over the last 12 years went from, walked in 2008 with a $1.2 billion batch of money given to us, a surplus from the previous administration, went through a $2 billion deficit back to $350 million surplus. So we went through some highs and lows in the last 12 years, but the oil spill, you know, the results from Katrina kept rolling in, but I think perseverance from the people and working together, you know, laying the, I guess the groundworks to get the LNG plant that's coming. People don't realize how many steps have to be taken, and I was happy to be part of that process. And I think one of the most effective things that we can do is every year I was part of the Transportation Committee for 12 years, and our transportation roadshow annually is mandated by law, and we go through every highway district in the state in a week and a half period. And I think the most effective trip was when we made a tour of the port, and that allowed representatives from other parts of the state to see what Port Fourchon is all about. And seeing is believing. And when they saw the size of the vessels, the size of the cranes, the infrastructure, they realized we have to support that elevated highway. So I was happy to be part of it. I want to congratulate Representative Tanner McGee, our new Speaker Pro Tem from Houma, for House Bill, I think, 578 that took that BP money and hopefully got our matching part of the federal grant that may be coming, so we can finish the last 8.5 miles. But it's been 12 years, 12 sessions, and a whole bunch of special sessions, but it was a great, enjoyable time serving the public. And one of my, I guess, things that I enjoyed was being the vice chairman of the Special Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs for the state, and that's near and dear to my heart, besides doing work, highway and public works and ag and natural resources. But I really enjoyed my 12 years, and I'll support in whatever needs Representative Bagala and Senator Mike Fazy, whatever they need, I'm there to help. And I'm there to help you people in any way that I can with our radio stations, and hopefully with me directly. If, you know, I'm there and here to help. But I appreciate you guys working with me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Gisclair, on behalf of the board, thank you for your help and your service for this community, and we hope to see you, continue seeing you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you all. All right, and with that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay, I got one thing on the public comment.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, commissioners and I, we went to Washington, D.C. We went with all our congressmen's aides and with the FAA and the Army Corps of Engineers, and I'd like to say, thank our commissioners, everyone, for doing a good part and go and meet up there and continue meeting, because a lot of people don't understand part of this port's success is going to Washington and going out and getting grants and everything for our community and for the port. And I just want to thank the commissioners for all what they do that went up there and for the future ones that are going to go up there. All right, thank you. All right. Any other public comment?
I got some.
Go ahead, Dan.
Good morning, Mr. President, board members. Last night the council met, and let me just back up a little bit. Talking about GOMESA funds. In 2019, we passed an ordinance, 6248, July the 9th, 2019. But before that ordinance was passed, we had different groups, Restore Retreat, Port Commission, South Lafourche Levy District, North Lafourche Levy. We met quite a few times, and we came up with some projects for the $14.5 million. And that was already voted on by the previous council. It's in the contract. It's in the bond money, $14.5 million. And last night we passed a cooperative endeavor to give the $2 million to the Port Fourchon. So let me just give you a little rundown of what we received in Ward 10 overall. Out of $14.5 million, LA1 improvements, $1.2 million. The navigable lock system, they want to put a lock system in La Rose. They're going to get $5 million. Port Commission, Fourchon Beach Restoration Project, $2 million. And 7-year levee flood project below the locks, $800,000. So that was pretty good for out of $14.5 million. And I was happy last night. I finally got to pass something. And I want to thank Chet Louvier, Chet Chasson.
You got it there.
And Mike Colley for coming, for some support. But you know what? Nobody even discussed it.
That's right.
So I wasn't going to tell them nothing. It passed. Maybe I'm going to keep more quiet over there, and maybe more things might pass. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine, for your support on that project, and the parish council and the administration for working with us on that. I think as we've seen in the last several years, and I think we're going to continue to see that if we can continue to work together, both our entity and Lafourche Parish government, we're going to continue to see some success because we're doing a lot of good work. We have some more things to come, so we appreciate the work and the collaboration between the two organizations for sure. Thank you.
Right. Any other public comment? All right, moving on. Next we have committee reports. Executive Committee members are Chucky Sherman, Chairman, Rodney Gisclair Sr., Mike Colley, and John Melisone. First, we have consider approving a request from American Integration Contractors to extend the Port Complex office lease.
All right, so AIC has been leasing this office for a few years now, and they are requesting to renew the lease for another year, and recommendation is to approve.
Okay, need a motion. Moved by Mr. Rodney Gisclair Sr., seconded by Mike Colley. Any discussions? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have considering approving the NOAA Ports Systems Amendment.
Okay, so we have an agreement with NOAA on the ports system that's in Port Fourchon. It's called the Port Fourchon. It's the Physical Oceanographic Real-Time System. You can see it's up there on the screen. But what we're adding to this, what this amendment says, is that there's going to be a one-wave buoy 16 miles east of Port Fourchon. The location includes a data well wave rider buoy with 24 to 30 months of battery life and an Iridium/HF telemetry system. So that's a wave buoy that's out there that's going to be connected to the port system. Recommendation to approve this amendment.
Move.
Need a motion. Moved by Mr. John Melisone, second by Mr. Rodney R. Gisclair. Any discussions? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have consider approving the nominations for the South Lafourche Levy District appointment.
Okay, so every time these appointments come up, we have an appointment to the South Lafourche Levy District. The governor's office sends us a letter saying, hey, we need your 3 nominations. They usually ask for 3 names to put on our recommendation list. We advertised for that. We received 2 resumes and applications, so that's all we can submit is 2 names, and we'll let them know that we advertised and we only received 2 names. So the way the process works is we actually have to do a resolution accepting the nomination for both folks. So we have one is Monty J. Veg and the other is Glenn J. Vizier, so we need to do separate motion and do the whole process for both of those applications.
Okay.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Mike Cully, second by Mr. Rodney Gisclair Sr.
To accept
to accept the 2 nominations.
Each name?
each name,
Monty.
Monty one.
The first, Monty Beg.
Okay, so run that.
Okay, so we need to do a vote. We got to do a roll call vote or just a regular?
Roll call.
No.
Okay. Any discussion for Mr., need a motion, but we got a first and a second for Mr. Monty Veg. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, next, we need a motion to nominate Mr. Glenn Vizier.
I move
Moved by Mr.
To-
Rodney Gisclair
to
Sr.
nominate Glenn Vizier as one of our nominees for the selection.
Okay, and second by Mr. Curtis Pierce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, so those 2 resolutions will go with our letter stating that we have these 2 names recommended for the governor's nomination.
All right. Next, we finished executive committees. Next, we have permits and waterways committees. Members are Curtis Pierce, Jimmy Lafone, Rodney R. Gisclair, and Chucky Sheridan. Mr. Pierce.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. We have 2 permits to review. First one is for Louis Sherby. It's going to be in Lafourche Parish. It's an unauthorized permit, impact to 0.02 acres of saline marsh habitat occurred during the permitted construction to fill upland and open water bottoms with excess cement and dirt fill to regain and stabilize property along LA1. Appropriate compensatory mitigation will be assessed for the permanent impact to 0.2 acres of saline marsh habitat, and an administrative penalty may be issued for unauthorized impact. The next one is from the Greater Lafourche Port Commission. It's going to be in Lafourche Parish. Proposed construction of South Lafourche Airport Connection Road and a new bridge. The connector road will be constructed between LA 3235 and LA 1. The new bridge will be a vertical lift span bridge that crosses Bayou Lafourche. In addition to the new connector road and bridge, the applicant will also make improvements to relocate intersections, signage, drainage, pedestrian facilities, and landscape. Approximately 14,546 cubic yards of material will be excavated and placed on site. Approximately 6,667 cubic yards of material will be excavated and hauled off-site. Approximately 192 cubic yards of concrete, 6,589 cubic yards of crushed stone, 2,267 cubic yard of rock, 3,337 cubic yard of sand, and 20,842 cubic yards of soil will be hauled in to be used as fill material. 13.5 acres consisting of upland, non-vegetated water bottoms, and vegetated wetlands will be impacted by the proposed activity. And that is all we have today. Do we have any public comment on any of these?
No, there's no public comment.
No, you don't? Okay, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pierce. Next, we have Construction and Development Committee. Members are Larry Griffin, Chairman, Chris Colley, Jimmy LaFawn, and Chucky Sherman. Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next is consider approving the substantial completion certificate from Byron E. Talbot Contractors for the airfield drainage improvement project.
This project is fully complete. Recommendation to approve.
All right, we need a motion. Moved by Mr. Larry Griffin, second by Mr. Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, and that, Mr. President, concludes my long list.
Well, thank you, Mr. Griffin, glad. All right, next we have Finance Committee. Members are John Melisone, Jr., Chairman, Rodney Gisclair, Sr., Mike Colley, and Chucky Sherman.
Good morning.
You got a long one, Mr. Melisone, go ahead.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. He is correct, Larry. Finance will be a little longer. First, we'll consider approving payments of the January 2020 invoices and recognizing those over $10,000. Item 1, Piciola and Associates, $236,396.73, and that is for Slip C Phase 3, 1,100 linear feet of bulkhead, Part 1. Also, Slip C Phase 3, 400 linear feet of bulkhead, and the connector road and bridge at the airport. Item 2, Sea Level Construction Incorporated, $84,760.67, and that's for Slip C Phase 3 Bulkhead Part 2. Item 3, Angelette Piciola, $50,680.50, and that's for the Fouchon Beach Maintenance, Restoration, and Protection, along with Fouchon Island Conceptual Design. Item 4, Water Institute of the Gulf, and that's in cooperation for our partnership for our Working Coast Part 2. Item 5, John Deere Equipment, $37,971.30, and that is for the purchase of a John Deere 506E utility tractor with loader. Item 6, American Integration Contractors, $36,902.64, and that's for camera repairs, bell pass design, engineering work, and inspections. Item 7, Vision Communications, $31,318.50, and that is for phone, internet, and cable services. Item 8, Transform YX, $29,820.70, and that's for our Cisco license renewal. Item 9, GIS Engineering, $29,570. That is for the Section 203 feasibility study, along with general consulting. Item 10, Top Equipment, $23,328, and that's for a SCAG, windstorm blower, turf, tiger equipment for the airport. Item 11, HFN Enterprises, $22,000, and that's for the Scan 13 agreement. Item 12, Shavers Whittle Construction LLC, $19,000. That's for Slip C Phase 3 Bulkhead Part 1. Item 13, Grand Isle Shipyard Incorporated, $18,991.68. That is for contract labor at the airport. Item 14, Lumcon, $17,249 even, and that is for the Port Fouchon Marsh Creation Planting. Item 15, Rocks Electric Incorporated, $16,567.84, and that is for electrical services at the pump station and runway light repairs at the airport. Item 16, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, $14,038.84, and that is for the Zucker Suites annual maintenance. Item 17, Johnson Controls, $12,532, and that is for the AMAG access control licensing. Item 18, Phil Bangert, $11,690, and that's for consulting and travel fees for January. Item 19, Zucker Technologies, $11,027.07, and that is for the maintenance for CAD and mobile software. And last, we have Bank of America, $10,552.35, and that is for monthly port credit card charges. That, along with the rest of our expenditures, brings us to a grand total of $435,608.55. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept these expenditures.
I got a motion by Mr. John Millison.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Mike Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
And last on the agenda, we have consider approving out-of-state travel and training. We have Director Chasson going to Washington DC February or March, dates to be determined, to continue our discussions on the 203 feasibility study. We also have Director Chasson again, along with commissioners to be determined, to attend the American Association of Ports Authorities Spring Conference, also in Washington, D.C., March 16th through the 19th. And last, we have Executive Chasson, Director Chasson attending the National Oceans Industries Associations, once again in Washington, April 22nd through the 24th. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion, we accept these out-of-state travel and training requests.
I got a motion by Mr. John Millison, second by Mr. Rodney Jusclair Sr. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Well, Mr. President, it seems like we're going to send Mr. Chasson to Washington a lot, but that concludes the financial report.
Yeah, let's hope he does it. All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Millison. We have any other business?
Do you remember?
Any public comment?
I did not.
All right.
I don't say nothing.
I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Curtis Pierce, second by Rodney R. Jusclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
As
I'd like to
always,
thank
traveling
everyone for
along,
attending
I
our
said,
meeting,
I
especially
did.
Mr. Jusclair. Hope to see y'all next go around. It was nice to have y'all in attendance. See y'all next meeting. Thank y'all. Meeting